The Fuel, Move, Recover podcast is brought to you by Advancing Athletics. If you would like to join us, go to advancingathletics.com and click the sign up button. The FMR team is dedicated to helping both individuals and our communities. While our primary objective is to improve the lives of law enforcement, first responders, and the military, we welcome everyone. This podcast will allow you to become a part of the FMR family, but the topics we discuss are not clinical recommendations or medical advice. Enjoy the show. Howdy, everyone. Welcome to the Fuel, Move, Recover podcast. This is episode 0. My name is Michele Iono. I am joined by my teammates, Alex Uding.
Hello.
And Lindsay Malone.
Hello.
In this debut episode of our podcast, we are going to introduce you to us and FMR. This podcast is funded by our members at fuelmoverecover.com, and we are grateful for their patronage. The three of us feel deeply that you folks, as listeners and members, are a part of our family. And every family should make time to break bread or have a drink and talk about their day. So, Alex, what are you drinking and how's your day going?
I'm drinking a beer by a Harpoon Brewery in Boston called Camp on a Mango. It's nice and refreshing and tropical. And my day was great. It was beautiful weather here out in Rhode Island. So I got outside. I was able to run, got a lot of work done today, got to see a few patients with telehealth. So overall, a really good day. And Lindsay, how was your day?
My day was good. It was rainy here in Cleveland, but warm. So we were outside for a good chunk of the day, and I am capping off my day with a Dogfish Head Slightly Mighty, which is their lower octane IPA. It's actually pretty good. I didn't have
I like
high
the name,
but it's good. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Michele, what are you drinking over there?
So I've got, you definitely missed the boat because Alex and I are both drinking mango beers. This is Hellebunt Mango from Market Garden.
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So my day was good. I got run number 32 in today, and we did some work around the house. We're putting an addition on the house. So did a lot of digging. I think I have a blister on the palm of my hand from using a shovel. This shows how pathetic my hand calluses have become. So, but to be fair, you rarely use the palm of your hand when you're doing anything active. So I was pushing the shovel. So I'm going to use that. And then it's nice because Lindsay and I only have to talk one time about the weather since, we're separated by a few short miles. Yeah. So, one of the two of us can just cover that,
Although you never know in Cleveland. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
That's true.
It could be snowing. Well, at least up in Cleveland, which is not that far from you, but the west side's warm and they're having campfires. Over on the east side, we're shoveling out of our driveways.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. The damn lake. So, yeah, and it is definitely a little bit cooler, closer to Canton, Akron area. So that is kind of nice. But you guys definitely got some of the harder storms. We got, in the middle of the day, it stormed a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. So it feels like summer now, at least today.
Yes. Yeah.
So, which is nice.
70s.
It's coming. Yeah. So before we get into what we're doing here at FMR, I want to explain how we got here. So I had the good fortune of being involved in a wellness program for the National Guard, and we got to not only create it and implement it, but a lot of really challenging and rewarding experiences helping all these soldiers. And it was such an honor to work with these elite instructors. I want to give shout outs to Jean and Amy, Nicole, Joe, Jen, Jeremy, George, a lot of J names. I don't know if that's an Army thing or not, but yeah, so Alex and I got to work with them, and they were just really great people. And I also want to give a special thanks and shout out to Chris, who gave me this opportunity to begin with. And after it was over last summer, we were reflecting on the program, and that's when I came up with Fuel, Move, Recover. So we thought that Fuel, Move, Recover would be a great opportunity to centralize a lot of the details that were put into that program we were involved in the Guard, and then most importantly, disseminate it to not only the military in a top-down approach, but also get involved in municipalities and local forces. So in total, we want to be able to not only include information about how to fuel, how to move, how to recover, but then also we want to show how those things are interconnected. So I was fortunate enough that Alex was willing to contribute her experience and efforts into the program. And as we were building the program, I attended this conference at the Cleveland Clinic, and I was lucky enough to hear Lindsay talk on nutrition and sports performance, and she blew me away. And once again, I got lucky in that now we have her as a part of the team as well. So without further ado, I'll allow her to introduce herself and explain why fuel matters.
So my name is Lindsay, and I am a dietitian. And my perspective here, so as Michele mentioned, he heard me speak at a conference, and I was sharing my perspective of functional medicine. And so this is my view of nutrition. Is really through this lens where we kind of think of the body as one whole organism rather than different pieces, parts. So you've probably heard about, nutrition for maybe losing weight or building muscle, but I really think of it as fueling the whole person. All the cells in your body, all your different systems. And so, one of the analogies that I use quite a bit is a tree, and thinking of the body like a tree. And so, if we want that tree to be healthy, we really have to nourish the root system, and nutrition is one of those roots. The other roots would be things like movement, rest, relaxation, stress, relationships. So I'm always thinking about nutrition in that sort of realm of fueling the whole person, mind, body, everything, and also fueling their movement. So when we think about what our community here does, and how they're serving, going out and working on the battlefield or in our communities, or even in boardrooms, and thinking about optimal performance, nutrition's a really big piece of that. And so my goal is really to provide some support, information, guidance with all the information that's out there of how nutrition can really optimize performance, again, both mentally and physically, to support you, throughout your day. And of course, work with Alex and Michele on, movement, recovery, sort of all the pieces of the puzzle.
So next, we will have Alex tell you guys a little bit about herself and about why movement matters.
Hi, guys. So I am a physical therapist and a performance coach. And I think this organization, this project that we're working on really hits home for me because I'm the child of a cop. I come from a family of cops. My grandfathers were cops. And so you get to see kind of like what a career does to someone throughout their, as they grow in their career, and then what happens into retirement and things like that. So in getting to see that with my own family members, and then working with the military, like Michele had mentioned before, it's such a privilege to get to address some of the things that impact the health and wellness of the great people that are serving our communities and our country. And so I'm excited to talk about the movement side of things, and talking about how Lindsay said, how all these different components get integrated into how we interact with the world. And so movement's going to be influenced by what we eat. It's influenced by our environment. What exercise choices do we have? What equipment do we have access to? What are the hours we're working? Our social support and what we have available to kind of help us, navigate the world of wellness. And then our mental, emotional, kind of spiritual health also plays a role in how we move. And so it's learning how to use those things, and then recognizing how our body itself works and how we have to interact, our nervous system, our cardiovascular system, our muscular system. And all of that combined is going to produce movement and performance. And so sometimes movement is just us in a posture, static, not doing a whole lot. And sometimes it's us performing a really high level task. But what we do consistently day in and day out has an impact on how balanced we are and how we perform. And so we're going to talk about the different things that we can do to influence and impact movement, how we can make hopefully day-to-day activities a little bit better, how we can make your training better, and overall improve how you feel kind of navigating your performance through the day, whether it's just, going for a walk or it's performing the job that you need to get done. So hopefully we can help bridge some of the gaps and get the listeners feeling good about how to move and what they can do to make movement fit their life.
Okay, so lastly, I will tell you a little bit more about me and recovery. So like Alex, I'm a physio as well, and I really became interested in recovery, not only from, obviously I'm a physical therapist, so, like recovery is what we do, working with people, but also the portions of recovery that I'm going to be talking about today and as a part of FMR are more like the mental side. So I've always been interested in this, not only because I've been a card-carrying member of the Sleeps Like Crap group, but also I played football in college and was always interested in trying to get the most out of myself, despite injuries, despite not being an elite player. And so that part always was something that I gravitated towards. So fast forward all the way to now, and we're talking about recovery. The thing with recovery, it's all about the management of stress. So stress can be good or bad, and it can be physical or mental. And everything that we talk about in the recovery section of FMR will be about managing that stress. Whether it be from a workout that you had, and now we want you to use active recovery techniques to improve your return from that workout. So like, it doesn't make sense if you're sore from your workout and then all of a sudden you spend the next 4 days on the couch because you're sore. So it ends up leading to doing more harm than good. And that's kind of like generalizing, but you get the point. So we're also going to talk about things like passive recovery, and that will focus almost exclusively on sleep, right? So there's nothing more important or that affects your well-being or your performance than sleep. So the good part is just by learning how to get a little better shut-eye, you're going to improve your performance. Bad news is, if it was so damn easy, so many of us wouldn't have problems with it, right? So we're gonna try to work through that, and as well as help you guys make better decision triage. What we're calling decision triage. So we want you to be able to assess situations like you do professionally, and then make the best decision that you can. Sometimes you want to make the least bad decision, and that's fine, but we want you to always be making these decisions with intent. So often I tell my clients that I work with in the clinic, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be on purpose. So there's a big difference between landing on 80% because you rolled the dice well, and landing on 80% because you're working your ass off to keep it at 80%. So that's what we're going to be working on in the recovery section as well. And then finally, and arguably the most important thing, is your mental skills, right? So the way I think of mental skills is think of the way your jigsaw puzzles work, like when you're putting one of those together. So your mental skills are the edge pieces. So whenever you get frustrated working with the stupid clouds or whatever, what you're going to do is you're going to go back to finding the rest of the edge pieces. Once you have all the edge pieces, if you get stuck on adding to the edges on one section, you're going to go somewhere else. So we want your mental skills to be like that, in that they always support your actions. Your actions in the middle of the puzzle, to use the same analogy, would be your nutrition, would be your movement, would be your physical performance at work, would be your relationships, things like that. So, but if you have a sound mindset, you're never going to get too far off the reservation because it'll be framed by those things positively. So we're going to explore this together. So none of us are perfect on these parameters, and we're going to take the time to try to figure that out. You guys deserve it. Those of you who protect and serve our communities and our country. And I hope, if nothing else, that you take away from this that it's okay to like not be great at everything and to have some faults, and it doesn't make you a sis or a wuss or any of these other stupid football things that I used to hear too. It's like makes you a real person. So we like real people. So that's what you guys can expect from FMR, and we will be coming at you weekly once the June schedule rolls out and our first content unit starts. So thank you all for listening. And remember that Fuel, Move, Recover is entirely member funded. So it's all about you guys. Most importantly, we match our memberships with free seminars on performance and wellness for at-need municipalities and volunteer forces. So if you would like to help us make a difference, please support this program by signing up at advancingathletics.com for as little as $8.25 a month. You're welcome to join us, and you can learn more about the membership perks there. If you're not ready to sign up just yet, we would appreciate you subscribe, rate, and review the show, and share it with a friend. So don't forget to pay yourself, and goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Thanks, guys, for listening. We look forward to working with you in the future. Bye.
Fuel, Move, Recover podcast is the product of Advancing Athletics, LLC. You can follow us on Instagram at Fuel, Move, Recover and Facebook at Advancing Athletics. This podcast is funded by our members at fuelmoverecover.com. Their membership is matched with free seminars on performance and wellness for underserved municipalities in Ohio and beyond. Come join the FMR family to improve your well-being while supporting others.